Some people act less intelligent than they really are for a variety of social and emotional practice reason. At its core, the behavior is often a survival mechanism, right? A way to adapt to an environment that might not appreciate or reward intelligence, or where showing one's true intellectual capacity gonna create tension or might be isolation. I think one of the most common reason is the need to fit in. Humans are deeply social beings, and in many situations, blending into a group is far more beneficial than standing out. So, if a person is surrounded by a, let's say, family or peers who value simplicity or conformity of intellectual thought, they might feel pressure to suppress their intelligence to maintain harmony and avoid being ostracized. So this is necessary about lack of confidence, but about prioritizing relationship and social caution over self-expression, right? So I think there's also the fear of intimidation, right? In some case, people are displacing their intelligence because they don't wanna come across an arrogant or make others feel inadequate. So in group where intellectual conversation are seen as a parameter or as a pretentious or where people are uncomfortable with complex idea. So the smarter people gonna be deliberately hold back to keep their noise, right? Or keep peace. I see always all the time in school some people are really smart but or they don't even ask a single doubt. I think by appearing less intelligence, I think they lower the perceived threat level and making interaction more comfortable for others, right? Another factor gonna be is the fear of conflict. So intelligence can sometimes challenge the status quo, right? Whether through critical thinking, new idea, questioning established norm, right? So in an environment where tradition or common sense reign supreme, showing intelligence might gonna provoke argument or resentment or hostility, right? So for some, it's easier to act as though they didn't know better than to risk, you know, confrontation, right? So in certain case, acting less intelligence can even more be better or strategic move. So some people might use in a way to disarm other, so creating a false sense of security, right? So by appearing a less knowledgeable or capable, they might avoid, I think, expectation, right? Responsibility or scrutiny. It can be a form of self protection or even a clever way to gain an advantage by using underestimate that way. Culture and family dynamic is really important in this role, right? So a person raised in an environment, let's say, that gonna discourage intellectual pursuit or questioning, might internalize the belief that intelligence is invaluable or worse. That is something to hide, right? In such case, downplaying intelligence became second nature, a learned behavior rooted in years of social conditioning, right? So ultimately acting as less intelligence than one truly is often boils down to the universal desire for acceptance and safety. So it's not necessarily a reflection of insecurity or lack of self awareness, but rather a calculated response to, external circumstances. For some people, it is a short term strategy for, navigating your difficult environment. For other people, it can be a long term habit that's going to shape how interact within the world. in some case how they gonna view themselves, right? And this is the case uh for most of the people. So and this is a recent curated I recently read. It's really interesting to me. It wrote it like I'm gonna read it. I once had a girlfriend who systematically acted less intelligent than really was, especially when her friends and family were near. So her main reason to do so was that she wanted to fit in, and to some extent I understood her, because actually she needed to fit in. So parents, my neighbor, alas, were and are common sense people. So they never read a book or not interested in a culture which our hate nature. I'll come back to the interesting feature in a minute. He he ate intellectual science in general, common sense in their science, and thinking is a city in China. When her father tried to talk to me about tree, this is the big problem. We have trees in our garden. It feels like talking to a wall, an aggressive wall. That is, he does not listen to what you say when if he could be able to understand what you are saying. You live in the entirely fabricated, delusional world by its own common sense rule. And this is the world in which Iba grew up, constantly fighting against her father, one dimensional reasoning against us, bullying, stupidity. A mom is much friendlier, but intellectually much like a husband. To rebel especially against her father, Iba developed a drug problem. She was thrown out of the house and lived on her own as a young teenager. But smart as she was, she obtained a college degree in the end. Still, the friends she has tended to be more like her parents, probably because she met most of them in a bad time. So every time a friend and family were near, she acted just like them, right? Ignoring her real thought and swallowing her objection against a constant no-brainer truth. When she were an item, she refused to enter any kind of even slightly intellectual conversation because she wanted to be like them. She needed to be like them and fit in. So I guess the answer is survival in the fittest, right? And if anybody do this thing when you were when you was a child, please comment down. Even I did this thing when I was in my hometown. I used to be adapting to that intellectual conversation. I cannot. Sometimes I cannot able to cope up with that, and you will be less intelligent to make sure it within your parents, right?